Big reason why I'm thinking about connections today, why I made the other YouTube video that I'll probably link in that video and then I'll link back to. So that I was thinking about how yesterday when I played chess for the first time in a very long time, it was so hard to see how any single move actually translated into affecting the board position. They would make a move and it would affect how the game should go if you were playing optimally. I just can't register it. So even when I'm doing a chess puzzle, I'm just staring at the board forever. I just have no idea about all the properties of it. And only when I actually go back through the puzzle and watch the entire game play by can I actually start seeing the themes that are coming up. Right? I'm just not good enough at chess to be able to look at a position and think about the whole process of the game. Meanwhile, if I look at just a few measures of music, I can mostly guess what happened before because of my experience in seeing how we can get to a certain place. Like for example, if I see a German sixth chord, I probably know that we already went through a bunch of other harmonies probably, and I can guess which harmonies we already went through to get to that point. At the very least, we started with the tonic. We probably played around with a little exordium somewhere. Went through the entire progression, and then after maybe there was a little bit of more harmonic development, some predominance, and then after finally we go like German six, Canadial 6/4, dominant tonic, or something like that, right? But it takes a lot of experience to see that, especially if you're not familiar with a certain genre of music. And also what I realized that my years of playing Magic the Gathering, fun game, except too expensive, has given me this huge database in the head of how every single card connects to every single other, right? So when we look at a Zettelkasten, a pile of index notes with labels between them, we can see how they connect because we know how to move between the different entries. And it's the same with Magic cards. We know as Magic players that each card refers back to the complete comprehensive rules. And you can think of the comprehensive rules as the canon, right? And then all the cards ever printed are basically the Apocrypha. And then every single custom card ever printed, so the entire space of all possible Magic cards, which would include like 5 mana win the game type of thing, right? That all is part of the game. And then you can think of just a theorem as any single card that is properly formed, even if it's not actually a real card or something. And then we could just judge these cards and see which cards are real and fake or whatever. I think that's kind of an interesting little project for thinking about the world in general, or about thinking of art or anything. Right? Like, here's a funny thing to think about. What is a well-formed painting? Right? In fact, the rules for this seem to change a lot. At one point, it was considered very novel if you took a blade and just cut a hole on a canvas. But now if you do it, everyone's like, okay, cool, you're just doing that sort of art, right? So even people who aren't very familiar with art, they just see what you're doing and they kind of just take it in stride. Even though at one point this would be considered preposterous, right? At one point, when people made paintings that would try to emulate the surroundings, or try to blend into the surroundings, for example, a painting that looked like a window, people would actually fall for it because they wouldn't expect that you would do something like that. And they hadn't seen photographs, of course, so they're not used to this whole concept that when you see something in a frame that it might not actually be there, what that means. And in other news, yesterday I was trying to look through some cheap tablets. I found one that was only a bit over $100. I still didn't buy it, because I just don't need one. But I then read a Twitter thread about how you can think of tablets as being an interesting interface between the physical world and the ideal world. Because you are really touching these things and you're moving in the real world one-to-one to the stuff that's happening on the screen. Even though the stuff on the screen, depending on how your views on the world are, aren't really real materially. Well, of course, where does all meaning come from? I'll leave it there for now.